Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying close attention to the Browns lately, you've probably heard about the recent buzz surrounding Shedeur Sanders, the young quarterback who's been making waves, not just because of his impressive talent, but also because of some intriguing behind-the-scenes stories that are now coming to light. And trust me, what happened in the aftermath of that humiliating 41-17 loss to the Ravens is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the ongoing saga of Shedeur Sanders and what it might mean for Cleveland's future. You see, right after that game, ESPN's Adam Schefter dropped a bombshell report revealing that the Baltimore Ravens actually had a plan in place to draft Sanders in the 5th round. But here's the kicker. Sanders himself told the Ravens, "Don't take me." That's right. According to Schefter, Sanders made it crystal clear he wasn't interested in joining Baltimore, especially not to be a backup behind Lamar Jackson. And honestly, that little detail explains a lot about how Sanders views his path in the NFL. Even though he's still a rookie, he's got big ambitions, and he's not the type to sit around waiting for his turn. When asked about this report after the game, Sanders chose his words carefully. Instead of giving a straightforward answer, he said, "My response is I'm focused on the now." It's a classic defensive move, perhaps, but it also shows how much he's concentrating on his current situation, not dwelling on what might have been or what could be. He continued, "I don't really talk about anything in the past, and whatever happened in the past, it is what it is. I'm more focused on how this game went and figuring out how to move forward from here." And honestly, that's a mature response from a young quarterback who's still finding his way in the NFL. Sanders also mentioned that he doesn't even remember much about the draft process anymore, which is a pretty telling sign. When you're a rookie trying to carve out a spot in the league, your focus naturally shifts to the present, to improving every day, to getting better in practice, and preparing for the next game. And that's exactly what Sanders seems to be doing. He says, "I just remember I'm here, I go to practice every day, and it's a 24-hour rule. It serves no purpose in my life." It's this kind of mindset that can serve him well in the long run, especially considering the Browns' current quarterback situation. Now, it's worth mentioning that Sanders likely saw Cleveland as a better opportunity to get on the field than Baltimore. And who can blame him? Right now, he's listed as the number 3 quarterback behind Joe Flacco, who's 40 years old, and rookie Dillon Gabriel. That's not exactly the ideal scenario for a young signal caller eager to showcase his talent. But as we all know, the Browns have been under pressure lately to make some roster changes, especially at the quarterback position. Joe Flacco has struggled mightily, and his performance has left many fans and analysts questioning whether he can be the guy to lead the Browns to victory this season. Despite that, sources from The Athletic, including Diana Rossini, have reported that Sanders isn't expected to see the field this year. So, if you've been dreaming about seeing Sanders in action, well, it's probably not happening unless something really out of the ordinary occurs. Rossini explained that the decision to draft Sanders was entirely GM Andrew Berry's call, driven by the belief that Cleveland's coaching staff could develop him into a competent NFL quarterback. It's not some grand master plan to suddenly thrust him into the spotlight. No, the Browns see this as a longer-term project. They're committed to developing him, to grooming him patiently rather than rushing him into action before he's ready. And that makes perfect sense, especially considering the Browns' current quarterback depth chart. Flacco, despite his struggles, is still the starter, and Dillon Gabriel's development is seen as a key piece for the future. The team's coaching staff, led by Kevin Stefanski, isn't in a hurry to bench Flacco just yet. Instead, they're focusing on collective improvement, on fixing the offense as a whole. Stefanski himself admitted after the game that the team didn't perform well enough, emphasizing that we win as a team, we lose as a team. That's a very mature perspective, especially when the Browns are 0-2 and facing a tough schedule ahead. Next week, they'll be up against the Green Bay Packers, a team that's already shown they can be a formidable opponent with a 2-0 record. Looking at the bigger picture, it's clear that the Browns are in a bit of a transitional phase. The expectations are high, especially after last season's playoff run, but injuries, inconsistent offense, and some shaky performances have put them under scrutiny. Yet, amid all this, the organization remains patient with Sanders, believing in his potential to grow into a future franchise quarterback. They're investing in his development, not rushing him into action, which could pay dividends down the line. Meanwhile, Flacco's veteran presence is still seen as necessary for now, providing stability in what's been a turbulent start. But let's not forget, the story of Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland isn't just about what's happening on the field. It's also about the ambition, the mindset, and the long-term vision of this team. The Browns management clearly believes that nurturing Sanders behind the scenes, watching him develop in practice, will be more beneficial than throwing him into the fire right away. It's a strategy that many NFL teams are adopting these days, player development over immediate gratification. And for Cleveland, it's a gamble that could pay off big time if Sanders reaches his full potential. Now, thinking about the broader AFC North, the division is as competitive as ever. The Ravens, with Lamar Jackson, look strong, and their draft plans, including that secretive approach to Sanders, show how much they're invested in building a formidable team. The Bengals are also lurking, trying to bounce back from a slow start, and the Steelers are always tough with their solid defense. For Cleveland, the challenge is to stay in the hunt, not just this season but for years to come. Development of young players like Sanders is part of that puzzle, and even if he's not on the field now, his presence in the organization is a signal of the Browns' future ambitions. So as fans, we need to keep a close eye on how this unfolds. The Browns are still figuring things out, but the foundation is there. They have a talented roster, a coaching staff committed to growth, and a young quarterback with a chip on his shoulder. It's a lot to be optimistic about, even in the face of early set. The road to the Super Bowl is never straight, and the AFC North is a battleground where every game counts. But if Cleveland continues to develop its young talent, stays resilient, and adapts to challenges, they could very well surprise us all this season. And remember, the story of Shedeur Sanders is still being written. He's young, hungry, and already making headlines, not just for his skills but for his attitude and the plans that the Browns have for him. It's a fascinating subplot in this NFL season, and I promise you the best is yet to come. Whether he's on the field this year or not, Sanders' journey is just beginning, and it's one that Browns fans should follow closely. The organization's patience, the coaching staff's belief, and Sanders' own determination could be the ingredients for a future superstar. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So to wrap it all up, what does this mean for the Browns moving forward? Well, it's a mix of patience, development, and strategic planning. They're not rushing Sanders, but at the same time, they're clearly investing in his future. The current quarterback situation is a challenge, but it's also an opportunity for guys like Gabriel and Flacco to step up, while Sanders continues to learn and grow behind the scenes. The division is fierce, the expectations are high, but Cleveland has shown in recent seasons that they're capable of overcoming adversity. With the right development and a bit of luck, this team could be on the verge of something special, something that might even lead them back to the promised land of the Super Bowl in the coming years. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all this? Do you believe in Sanders' long-term potential? Do you think the Browns should give him a shot sooner rather than later? Or are you happy with how things are unfolding now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. Thanks for being here, and as always, let's keep the passion alive and keep supporting our team through thick and thin. Cleveland Browns for life.